What's up, everybody? This is your boy Jay every day, and these are my thoughts on the 2018 NFL Draft. And the position I'm going to talk about today is quarterbacks. There's this narrative that certain quarterbacks are running quarterbacks, or they're run and shoot quarterbacks, and they don't know how they don't think their skill set is going to transfer to the league. The funny thing to me is you can have somebody with roughly the same completion percentage who's playing in a weaker league per se, and they think that this quarterback is going to be better than this quarterback. Specifically, I'm talking about Lamar Jackson and the dude from Wyoming, I think his name is Josh Allen. The whole point of it is nobody knows. A lot of this shit when it comes to quarterbacks is just guessing and the same narrative that these same sports media channels bring up year after year after year after year. These same companies, these same sports media companies, and these teams recycle the same set of coaches, the same set of bullshit, and they run with it over and over and over again. If you ever notice, that's why you see the same teams picking quarterbacks over and over again. The same teams losing over and over again. Prime example of this is the team where I currently live is the Washington Redskins. Washington Redskins drafted a quarterback, RG3. RG3 was playing under Mike Shanahan and his son Kyle. They also drafted Kirk Cousins as a backup plan, which I thought was smart, regardless of how I felt about how RG3 was treated or whatever the case may have been while he was here. Everybody knows what happened. Mike Shanahan was fired. RG3 was waived. Kirk Cousins became the starter over the next 4 years. Their record was either 7-9 or 9-7 consistently. It was one of the two. You went 9-7, 7-9, 9-7, 7-9, whatever. Their difference was always about a 2-game difference consistently over those 4 years. The entire time, they would never sign Kirk Cousins to a long-term contract. And the sports media in DC turned on them like they turn on everybody when they don't win here. How this relates to the 2018 draft, I'm going to get back to that. So, instead of signing Kirk Cousins to some long-term deal and all of this, they gave, what's the guy's name from Kansas City? Used to be the quarterback, Alex Smith. Yeah, they gave Alex Smith, I don't know, $75, $78 million over 4 years. And Kirk Cousins got a contract for about $86 million over 4 years, over 3 years, all of it guaranteed. Here's the thing though. You just traded the same quarterback with a difference of maybe 10 or 15 million dollars as the difference between the two. I'm curious to see what their record is going to be now that they supposedly have their quarterback now. Now, see, you can't blame it on Kirk Cousins. He got rid of both of his receivers, Pierre Garcon and what's his name, Deshaun Jackson. Excuse me. How this relates to the 2018 draft is this. It doesn't matter what quarterback you draft. A lot of it depends on the system and whether or not that coach has faith in that quarterback. But guess what? If you have a shitty team or a shitty infrastructure, you're going to put out a shitty product on the field. This isn't necessarily to say that the Redskins, those players that play for the Redskins, are shitty, because this is one thing about me that everyone will come to notice. I'm not going to sit here and call a professional athlete a bum or a scrub or all of this other shit that other people do, because I think that's foul to necessarily call a pro athlete a bum or a scrub, because if he's a bum or scrub, he's not going to get paid for being a bum or a scrub. I think sometimes people let their emotions interfere with critical thought with regards to sports. However, what I am going to do is, cuss out these teams that continue to put a rotten product on the field or in the basketball arena. And what I mean by rotten product, I mean you're not putting the best product you can out on the field. Some players are meant to be role players and backup players, and there's some players that are meant to be starters. If you got a bunch of role players in starter positions and you wind up with an inadequate record or the same results year after year after year, that's a reflection of your organization. That's not a reflection of the players. All a player can do is go out there and do his job, no matter who he is. So with that being said, you're going to have this draft. Let's see, you're going to have Buffalo pick up a quarterback. The Jets are going to pick up a quarterback. Who else is good for a quarterback? Just off the top of my head. The Jets, the Bills, Cleveland, who else? I'm trying to think. I'm trying to go by divisions. Giants maybe might pick up a quarterback. Who else? Miami might pick up a quarterback. Well, it doesn't matter, but there's supposedly anywhere from 5 to 6 legitimate NFL prospects at quarterback in this draft. When they get drafted, I want you to go back and look at the history of these franchises that are drafting quarterbacks. Look at the difference between Cleveland and Jacksonville. Look at the difference between Jacksonville and Buffalo, and what you're going to start to notice or see is an emerging pattern of just ineptitude. So, these places are so quick. Oh, this guy's a bust. Oh, this guy's a bust. Oh, this is this or this is this. Okay, but you've been putting a rotten product out here. You haven't made the playoffs in 15 plus seasons. At some point, that's not on the players. That's on you as an organization. That's why I always hate it when these guys on TV, tend to call this quarterback a scrub or this quarterback a scrub. Or they say, oh, this quarterback isn't this or this quarterback isn't this. But guess what? You ever notice that certain teams, certain organizations always seem to put their quarterbacks or their defense in the best position to win? Look at Pittsburgh, for example. You can say whatever you want about Ben Roethlisberger, but guess what? He's going to have a damn good receiver. He's going to have a damn good offensive line. And you best believe he's going to have a damn good running back. Now, I know they're having a dust-up with so far as giving Le'Veon Bell a contract. But you best believe either they're going to work something out or they're going to prepare and do something in a draft to make sure that, yeah, we may not be able to keep Le'Veon Bell, but you best believe we're going to make sure that we have some running backs. If we can't have one running back that does everything that Le'Veon Bell does, we may have a running back who can catch, and we're going to have one that can run. Same thing with New England. You can say whatever you want about New England and Tom Brady and Belichick. But guess what you're going to have? You're always going to have Tom Brady with a decent wide out, a decent slot receiver, and a decent running game. The rest of it just comes down to coaching. Listen, how you got these franchises with the chance to draft these quarterbacks. And people say all the platitudes and all this just basic bullshit that they regurgitate every year about, oh, when this quarterback walks in the room, he just exudes confidence and you can tell he's a difference maker and all of this. Yeah, I heard him kick that same shit about E.J. Manuel. What happened to E.J. Manuel? He went to Buffalo. That's what happened to E.J. Manuel. What happened to RG3 when he went to Cleveland? He went to Cleveland. And guess what's going to happen this year after Cleveland goes 5-11? They're probably going to fire Hugh Jackson. And they're going to start this whole process over again. Because see, the owner, whatever bullshit he's on, every 2 years he gets a new coach. With the Redskins, it's every 4 years. Every 4 or every 5 years they get a new coach. And so I don't know how much you're a fan of the NFL, but going forward, don't be surprised if your team is just as garbage this year as they were last year. Don't be surprised if all of these quarterbacks flame out, or the one that you thought was going to be a bust as opposed to the one who everybody says is supposed to be this and supposed to be that. You just have to wait and see. So let's go down the line here. Okay, we got Sam Darnold. I think he's from USC. He's supposedly the consensus number one pick. He has the height, supposedly the immeasurables, and all of these other bullshit analytics that they use to grade quarterbacks. You have Josh Rosen, excuse me. They talk about he comes from money, he's this. None of that shit matters when you get to the NFL. Either you can play quarterback or you can't. Baker Mayfield, kid walked on at 2 different schools and he won the Heisman. Let me repeat that. He walked on at 2 different schools. I think like at Texas Tech, left Texas Tech, and walked on at Oklahoma, became the starter, and won the Heisman. Oh, he's too short. Oh, he has an attitude. This, and the third. I think he should have an attitude. If I had to walk on at 2 different schools, and I know I'm a better quarterback than all the quarterbacks at these schools that I walked on at, yeah, I'm going to have a little piss and vinegar in me too. Next is quarterback for Wyoming, Josh Allen. Again, they talk about these bullshit analytics. Oh, his size and his arm strength, this, and the third. And can he read defenses? Well, he didn't really have any receivers and all of this. Okay. None of that shit matters. All the prognosticators and these so-called draft experts, they have him pegged as either the second or third best quarterback behind Arnold and Josh Rosen. Last one to bring up is Lamar Jackson. I think he's the only quarterback in FBS history to throw for 3,000 yards and rush for at least 1,500 yards in back-to-back seasons. It's some weird stat like that. But he's accounted for over 4,000 yards between running and passing twice. I think he's the only quarterback to have done that. I may be mistaken on that, but I don't have any stats or anything in front of me. So those are your quarterbacks for the 2018 draft. So now we're going to see somebody's going to be right and somebody's going to be wrong. And I think my next post, what I'm going to do is I'm going to revisit the 2017 draft. And we're going to put up the quarterbacks who were drafted, who started, well, not who started, but who played a majority of games. We're going to put up the quarterbacks who played. Well, we're not going to put up, we're going to examine their numbers. I'm going to talk about where they were drafted at, their numbers, and their overall takeaways from those. And I think, let's see, we're going to do Deshaun Watson, Mitchell Trubisky. Damn, who else drafted that year? Yeah, my memory is terrible when it comes to drafts and stuff, so I'll have to actually go and look up the information, but we'll definitely go back and re-examine the 2017 draft and see where all of those quarterbacks ended up. I'm sorry about that, I'm in traffic, So that is my post on the 2018 NFL Draft, talking about the quarterbacks. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and put your comments below. I will respond to comments. Haters, you can keep it moving. Find somewhere else to go. Peace. I'm out.